Recording, all the good stuff. So today we're going to do some housekeeping and updates and strategy to finish Q2 strong. We haven't had an updates one in over a year. I know it's been a year, first of all, for all of us. Shout outs and gratitude. Let's start there and not move forward until we get the shout outs and gratitude out of our system to set up a good morning. So go ahead and raise your hand. And while you're doing that, I want to shout out Jordan and Valencia and Sarissa and Laura. They represented us on a panel last week at Built How. And guys, they crushed it. They make us look so good. Not just in their results, but in the way they speak about our team, and the way they speak about you guys, in the way that they have leveled up. Great job presenting to all these ladies. Super appreciative for what you give back to our community. Katie, I've got you up first. I see your hand.
Good morning. I had an agent yesterday. This story doesn't end in my offer getting accepted, but I've had some really strong buyers that come in really strong, and then we put offers on the table and then we don't hear back and they never know how they missed out. And yesterday I had an agent, instead of the generic, hey, if we haven't heard, you haven't heard from us in the last half hour, we didn't accept your offer. He wrote this really nice email to everybody that was like, I see and respect your hustle. I'm sorry. I know that you have to keep looking now because we've accepted an offer. But to provide some perspective, he told us that they had multiple offers over 100,000, over list cash. And we'd never found out how far we were from the mark. So such a relief to get some actual feedback. And I just appreciate that, guy. So make sure you tell the agents you see that. Yeah.
That's such a good aha. Katie, what market are you in? Just so we know.
I'm on the Davis team in DFW. So it was a Fort Worth listing. All
right. And what price point is that you're like competing in?
450. And so they've been offering like 500 and 550. And it is cutthroat. Every deal is like multiple offers, highest and best within like 2 days. It's rough.
What I appreciate about your story is the more cutthroat life becomes, the more we value the people who make life human and who see us and who say, even though you lost, here's strategically what potentially you could do better next time. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Katie. Good one. Speaking of the Jordan team, let's go ahead to Valencia. Valencia, I saw your hand up next. Good morning.
Yeah, we'll just keep it rolling. Good morning. I just want to say a huge thank you so much and give you guys so much love, because y'all gave us so much love and support at Built Hall last week. And it's cool to see you virtually once a week, but it's even better to see you in person and to shake your hands and to smile face to face. So shout out to Texas, because you guys showed up big and gave so much love.
Yes, we had fun. We always have fun. If we can have fun on Zoom, can you imagine the fun we have in real life? It's pretty good. Jonathan, I see your hand.
Yeah, actually mine kind of spun right off of what Valencia just said with regards to last week, the Built How. It was just very evident how much, all the team leaders, everybody and out throughout the organization, but especially our Texas leaders, pour into us, help it, all the sidebar connections that you guys were helping us make, the long discussions about how to help us build wealth, outside of real estate or alongside real estate. So that was super, super powerful, and strongly encourage everyone that has the opportunity to go to September, because I found it very, very valuable to be there and connect with all those people.
Right on. Oh, I love how you tee us up for all of this. This is good. I don't even pay Jonathan and he tees us up. Thank you, Jonathan. I love it. I have heard actually some of you guys have had Brivity wins recently, and I do want to hear if there's anybody on the call. I'm looking at you, Jaime. I knew you had one. I feel like a few of you do. I want to give you the space for the next 1-2 minutes. Tell us about it so that we can also be inspired to have wins. Elizabeth, I see your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll share a win. So I did an open house in 2019, a long time ago. And I remember at that time, like following up with these particular clients or leads who were very nice, but they told me, hey, can you like, don't call us, don't text us. We don't want to buy anything. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to call and text them anymore. But they were on market reports, which are not easily unsubscribed from since then. And now finally, they called me and were like, hey, we're ready to buy now. You've been marketing to us for 3 years, or, like, we're ready to go. And fingers crossed, we're actually going to be going under contract on a listing from Jen Velarde today. So fingers
ladies.
Yeah, so it was just kind of cool to just be like, oh, like they specifically told me to not call them anymore, but yet we were still contacting them. So hooray, brevity.
You stayed top of mind. I love that. 2019 to 2022, guys, 3 years worth of reports, right? Did I hear it right? Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, market reports.
I love it.
And I put a market report on the house I did the open house at, because I did not know their address.
It wasn't even a market report for their own house. That is incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for allowing us to see that we overcomplicate life. Thank you. Jen, I see your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so kind of in congruence with what she was saying, for brevity, I had a client that I sold his home 2 years ago, and he called me about 2 months ago and said, hey, I knew he was contemplating selling because of the brevity market reports showed like 57 views. So I kept texting him and calling him, and I'm like, I see you looking at your valuation. What's going on? What are you thinking? And he would ghost me. But he's a postman, so he's such a great advocate for me. So on his route, he'll snap pictures of for sale by owners and send them to me. So he texted me 2 months ago and was like, don't be pissed, but I'm going to sell my house, but I'm going to do it myself. And I was like, and I got him initially because he was a for sale by owner, and he said he was going to sell his house. And so he said, I think realtors are useless. I've sold 5 homes in the last 2 years by myself. And he just went on some tangent. And I was like, do you mind me asking what you do for a living? Because it sounds like you should have a great career in real estate. You're selling, you sound better than most agents I deal with. Anyway, because of the market reports, he said he was going to sell his house. I didn't even handle him the way we are trained to, because I knew he was capable and I wanted to just make him feel like he was capable. So I came from a place of contribution and I said, okay, I want you to prepare yourself for, constant showings, people just randomly showing up at your house. Do not accept an offer if it does not have these 4 things.
Ooh.
And he was like, I said, and where did you get your price point from, by the way? Because I just ran comps and we're way off. And he's like, well, this is what Zillow told me. I was like, all right, well, have fun with that. I'll check on you in a couple of days and we'll see how it's going. So I followed up with him every 4 or 5 days, asked him how many offers he's received. And he finally was like, I can't do this. I'm a single dad, I have kids, and I'm having random people just show up at my house. And it's freaking me out and it's scaring me. He's like, let's just do it. I want to do it and get it over with. And I said, okay, so if we were to get these 4 things in an offer, would you accept an offer? And he said, yes. So I went and I told Elizabeth, I was like, hey, I got something. And she's like, let's do it. So we're in the process of getting paperwork signed.
That's awesome. That's a good story. I picked up number 1. You guys, if you don't have a mailman on your gift card payroll for when he snaps pictures of for sale by owners for you, I would have somebody on my payroll. I think that would be awesome. And then I also picked up, gosh, what a powerful thing to be able to say, do not accept an offer that doesn't have these 4 things, these 3 things, right? You're coming from a position of high contribution. I'm gonna go to Alicia in just a second. Anthony, did you have something to share? And did I skip you, sir? I apologize if I did.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Anthony is newer to our company, guys. He's in Houston. I don't know, Anthony, you have 3, 4, 5 pendings. I don't know where you're at right now, but I know you're killing it. And Anthony, he paid for himself to be at Built How last week. What a great guy. This is a guy you want to know, guys. He's a hustler. So Alicia, let me go to you real quick, and then we'll wrap up this section. Tell us.
Can I do it on mine? Okay, sorry. I don't know how to do all of this. I am sharing for Andrew because he is not peopling apparently this morning. We had 2 valuation leads that came through June 2020, and we're going live this weekend with the first one at 500,000. So a 2-year nurture.
Wow.
And then the second one was originally a $32,000 lot that we sold in 2020, Andrew, or 2021? 21. So a year later, 30,000, big money.
Big
But
money.
since then, he's referred us 2 other listings, and then he just reached back out and he's ready to buy again.
Oh, right on, right on. I love it. Okay, I feel like you guys teed up this entire power up now. I'm gonna jump in. If that's okay with you guys, here's what I did this morning. I have a quick, like literally 30-second video, and then I wanna go through some updates so that you guys feel like you are positioned to win for Q2, for ending mid-year. And then I want to throw it over to Casey and Jordan. They spend a lot of time with our agents. They know the market, and they have some ideas of how you can end Q2 strong. So fair, good, thumbs up. Yeah, actually, I want to give a shout out for everybody on video. Y'all, there's a lot of people on video right now. All right, share screen. Let's see, let's make sure that this is going to work. If you don't follow this guy, Naval, on Instagram, highly recommend it. Naval, just Naval. You know who talks about him? Chris Suarez. So I'm not the smartest person in the room. I just follow smart people, and then I just do what they tell me. Imagine that. So I want to show you this video. It's a 30-second video called Hard Work Isn't Enough. So let me know what you think about it. And whoever's a host, if you can mute anybody who's probably louder than they should be right now, aka not on mute. All right, let's see what we got.
Your goal, you are going to have to work as hard as you can, but hard work is absolutely no substitute for who you work with and what you work on. What you work on is probably the most important thing. You can save yourself a lot of time if you pick the right area to work in. Picking the right people to work with is the next most important piece. And then third comes how hard you work. It's not like you can pick one over the other that easily. They're like 3 legs of a stool. If you shortchange on any one of them, the whole stool is going to fall down. If getting wealthy is your goal.
All right, so it's a very short video. I hope you got it. If getting wealthy is your goal, there's 3 things that matter. What was the first one?
What you're working on.
What you're working on. What does Ben say? He says, success happens when priority happens in the right order. Priorities happen in the right order, right? So success is actually guaranteed when priorities happen in the right order. What was the second thing?
Who you work with.
Who you working with?
Who you're working with, right? So all these folks who said, man, it was great to see people in person, and who they show up in person is even better than who they show up on Zoom, which is awesome, right? Because behind Zoom, we can all have a little facade. It's kind of like social media. You show up and you look good, right? But in real life, it's you, real life, right? And who you work with and who you allow into your life, because you're all allowing partnerships, right? You either choose them or by default you have them, right? It's kind of like scripts. We all have them. It's whether they work or not, right? And what was the third one? How hard
you work.
Yes. Thank you. So the first one was what you're working on. Second one was who you're working on it with. Third is how hard you actually work, right? And it's what 3 legs of a stool. So that's why I wanted to go through today and just walk through a few things that we've got going on. I wanted to make sure you knew were going on. So let's jump right in and let's share this not share it, not yet. I will share it though. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Google Slides. I'm just gonna go through the slideshow. All right, so anybody who is a leader on this call who can add to this conversation, please feel free to unmute yourself and add to the conversation at any point today. This is definitely not my show. I'm just the conduit of the slide deck right this second. Okay, so I want to give you an update on Place's 100 million investment from Goldman Sachs. Right, so the first update is if you somehow lived under a rock, during the holidays, Place did receive $100 million from Goldman Sachs. What happens when you receive 100 million? It means that your valuation, guys, is $1 billion. So that's exciting. Couple points I want to make on that. None of that went to Ben and Chris. Ben could have bought his ranch in Montana with that. That would go pretty far with it, but he did not. Here's what they've been working on. So I want to give you an update on what they've been working on. Number one, if you want to write it down just so you remember it, or the slide deck will be shared with you. Number one is improving our value to our agents and our staff and making Brivity even better. I remember when Brivity used to have an update like every quarter. I remember those days. Then it happened every few weeks. And then I remember when we were getting monthly stuff, we were like, oh my gosh, we're really making it big. And now it's like every other day, there's an improvement. So if you go to Brivity Masterminds on Facebook, like that's how you are in the know. You can also do like the Brivity Lunch and Learns on Fridays, Brivity Happy Hour on Wednesday. And the reason I share that, you guys, is as there's commission compression happening in the industry, and it will continue, it's just the nature of it, right? The more that you allow tech to support you, tech is not the answer, right? You are the answer. You are the fiduciary in this transaction, but tech supports you, allows you to do more with less time. You'll just enjoy your life so much more. Number two, buying a mortgage company has been a focus with this money. The reason is that we want to be able to service that mortgage for the next 5, 7, 10 years that people own that home, right? And each time that we service that mortgage, right, each time they have to pay their bill online, or they have to write a check, or whatever people do to pay their bills. My husband pays the bill, so I have no idea, but they see our team over and over and over again, as opposed to the longest sold to Chase or Bank of America. And that transaction, that relationship effectively stops, right? Because we lost that connection, right? Somebody else is talking to them for the next 7 years, and it's their mortgage company, right? So I really love that the consumer is not going to be lost to us after the transaction, and moving forward, we'll have a monthly relationship with them. But another thing I love about the mortgage company they're buying, guys, they are super strong at doctor loans, at like self-employed 1099 folks. They're one of the top in the country, right? So not only are they good at all the regular FHA, VA, conventional stuff, but they're good at the stuff that we want as 1099 agents ourselves. Speaking of making mortgage better, we now have closings happening between 13 and 21 days with BKCO Mortgage. So we also have Spanish-speaking loan officers in the state of Texas. They're able to now consult and transact in Spanish in the state of Texas. I'll shoot an email out after Power Up with contact information for these folks. A lot of our people in Texas serve a lot of people who speak Spanish and prefer to transact in Spanish. That's a big win. Coleman at BKCO Mortgage made that happen for us. And then the last thing that I heard from our Place Partner Day was the property management launch, right? We want to be in the property management business, which sounds kind of crazy. Why the heck would we want to do that, right? Because if you've ever done a lease, you don't want to do any more leases, right? But here, there are 3 reasons why. Number one, we want those signs in the yard for market share and branding. Market share and branding. Number 2, tenants are future buyers. Number 3, landlords are future sellers. Somebody's going to help the tenants. Somebody's going to help the landlords. And when they become buyers and when they become sellers, I'd rather it be us than somebody else. What that is, if you want to write this down, is we want to get folks earlier in the funnel. It's a funnel game. Any of our people wanted to jump in on this, or shall I go on? Brandon, I saw you on mute real quick.
Yeah, just something real quick on the loan servicing. That's such a huge deal because as all these tech companies, disruptors, and other like discount brokers continue to share in commission, currently now when a loan gets sold, it goes say to, I don't know, Rocket Mortgage, and then Rocket Mortgage might have a relationship with, I don't know, Coldwell Banker, and this client that we spent so much time working on serving, being a fiduciary, really being their home ownership consultant. continues to see, you know, Rocket Mortgage's partner. And that's how sometimes, if you've ever had a client that you've worked with, had a great deal with, and then maybe didn't follow up as well as you wanted to, all of a sudden they're working with a completely different company. It's because we're not following up with them as often as their mortgage payment is due, right? And so once we're able to have our correspondence, our marketing, and our ability to continue to follow up from the mortgage perspective, it'll help us with client retention and really building a moat around those clients that we spend so much time working with. But there's other people outside of the real estate industry trying to get a hand on the real estate commission. That's where our big acquisition is going to make a huge difference for our businesses and our clients' lives.
I love that. Guys, all of us on this call, we can sell real estate. Like, we all do a damn good job of selling real estate. What we got into business with Place, part of the reason we all got into business with Place as a partner, none of us joined Place, none of us joined a team. We all decided to partner together. And the magic of that is, this is strategy that is a stratosphere past what I'm able to do. I want to read a quote for you that Stanford Business School says. Stanford Business School. All companies compete for a positional advantage and a capabilities advantage, right? Positional advantage and a capabilities advantage. Now, you see other teams out there. I saw a bunch of like stuff on Facebook this week about new things happening. And it reminded me that all the teams, all of the other people who are emulating us, which is a good thing, by the way, but we love competition. Let's go. But they have a positional advantage, because capabilities advantage, man, I mean, we're like eons ahead, right? And not only from a financial and strategic point of view, but also from a people point of view. So the next one, leadership talent at Place, that I wanted to tell you about. So as you know, last year we brought on Chris Stewart. He is currently the president of Place, and we brought him on from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And if you don't know Berkshire Hathaway, they might not be big in your market. I'll tell you what, they have amazing talent at the top. Warren Buffett is their Sherpa. And so therefore, of course, they have great leadership at the top. He makes sure of that. But one update I want to give you is that Ben and Chris have hired a CTO. So a chief technology officer. Notice the asterisks, we can't say it yet, but in the next couple days, weeks, I don't know, maybe a week, you'll hear it from Ben and Chris. And I think that's really exciting, because it's kind of like if we went out and we just hired somebody who just graduated from college, that's one thing. But when you're a company who's able to attract the level of talent that Place is attracting, you guys, it's those capabilities around capital, that's important, right? But you can't have capital without good people being stewards of that capital, who have the experience and the skill to take us from point A to point B. And that's what you signed up for. Anything else on that? I'm gonna go on. Otherwise, I'm gonna mute somebody. I'm so sorry. I hate to do that, but I'm gonna mute you just because I'm getting feedback. All right, ready? Let's go to the next one. Place stock. Okay, so all of that is cool, because we're on a journey of serving the client through all their homeownership life cycle versus just buying and selling. You're going to start hearing Ben and Chris and all of our partners talk about, we don't just serve people when they buy and sell a home. We're going to serve people throughout the journey of home ownership, right? Because we've always said delivering the dream of home ownership, not delivering the dream of hoping you sell a house, hoping you buy a house. It's home ownership. So Ben and Chris are almost done with the legalities of stock options. What we can share that stays in this room, all 90 people, if it goes out, I'll know who said it. It's gonna be one of you 90. The current stock price of Place right now is $17.05, $17.05. And I talked to Ben last night, and he is potentially thinking about moving the price down to $3.41 a share, so that's it's more affordable to our agents, and that's done by increasing the amount of shares. Here's the important thing to know about Ben and Chris. They are giving up parts of their company to make it possible for our agents and staff, which is really, really special, you guys. I don't know if you know, you might want to put an asterisk next to this one. One of the things we talked about is the first 1,000 people at EXP, and I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying the first 1,000 people at EXP are virtually all millionaires today, right? And all of us are so proud that we are not only on the ground floor of all of this, but we're also part of the company that is so visionary and has enterprise value. Anything that anybody wants to share on this slide that they heard different at Partner Day?
That's exciting though.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. And for those of you who heard the first 1,000 millionaires at EXP, Ben said that the people who put in 25,000, nobody has to work anymore. So just to give you an idea, and I don't even know, when did EXP go public? Anybody know? I actually don't know. Jaime, do you know?
So from what I remember Ben saying is that they never actually went public. They actually bought a company that was already public, and they kind of went through there. So that's what Ben had said. But one of the things I wanted to mention, Adelina, is that from Partner Day is that our company being so special in the fact that usually if something happens to where we get opportunity, like for example, as team lead, like, you know, Rainmakers within KW, usually if you do well as a team, opportunity comes your way just for the Rainmaker. This is a unique, I mean, our company is so awesome that everybody in the company gets an opportunity, creates opportunity as we grow and grow. And one of the things I wanted to add about Place Mortgage or BKCO is that they get the vision too. I had a conversation with Andrew Rios on Monday, and I said, listen, I'm just going to ask you a question straight up. I go, usually, you know, if I use Keller Mortgage or BKCO or, you know, any of the 0+, I go, dude, y'all are good at slam dunks. I go, but what about the ones that need a little finesse? And he's like, I'm so glad you brought that up. And they've really stepped up their game on that. So, you know, they get the vision of where Place is going as well. So we're all working together on that.
Right on. It is definitely a well-oiled machine. And one thing I just read in chat was Alicia said that BKCO Mortgage has 7-day financing contingency periods. That's pretty good. Thank you for that. I'm going to jump on to the next one so that I can respect your time. Speaking of wealth, I wanted to draw your attention to the soft launch that happened yesterday. Wealth Building Wednesdays will start, like they started yesterday, and they're going to go the rest of this year. The first two are being hosted by Travis Bard, and the content, guys, is designed for our agents and staff, right? And so Ben and others who are winning at Wealth Building will jump on every Wednesday, 2:00 Central Time, for the rest of this year to focus on wealth building with our agents. Some of it will be open mic, open Q&A. Some of it will be trainings. All of it will be valuable. I wanted to make sure that if you had nothing going on Wednesdays at 2:00 from 2 to 2:30, that is an option for you if wealth building is part of your journey, whether it's this year or whether you're getting educated to take action next year. I bet there are certainly things we could do this year that would allow us to take better action next year. Anything on that? Nope. I'm gonna pause on each slide. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I just want to say Travis is awesome. And this is something, even if you feel like you're not ready yet to start making wealth moves, like some of the best financial minds out there got their education in first before they could pull the trigger, right? So the goal right now is like qualifying yourself for the opportunities when you're qualified to take advantage of them, right?
That's good. Qualifying yourself for the opportunity so that then you're qualified to take them. I like it, Casey. Woo! You said what I wanted to say in much less words. Good stuff. Simply said. All right. Speaking of saying stuff, man, this one is really exciting for me. So Valencia, I saw you on. How many appointments did you set last year?
A lot. No, over 349 appointments. So
Woo!
350. I know.
Oh my gosh. So what I'm excited about is Valencia is such a rock star. She's always given back to our community here in Texas. And there are two awesome options coming up with Valencia that man, if you guys, going back to the previous slide, can't do much with wealth if you don't got money. And Valencia helps you convert so that you can make money, so that you're part of the conversation. So so we've got two options. Number one, I'm calling converted condensed, and I have no idea what this is actually called. I just made it up. So don't tell anybody if it doesn't go over well with the people at the top. Converted condensed is every Tuesday in May from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. Place is sponsoring Converted for our agents. Now, this is not the entire thing, because the entire thing is like what, 15, 16 weeks, Valencia? Am I right? I don't even know.
Yes, you're right. It's 16 weeks. You got it. You're on a roll. Keep going.
I mean, I'm just like making stuff up left and right, but most of the time I get it right. But it will go over super highlights. Like, it's better to do that than not to do it, right? And so so I'm excited about that. I feel like we should have 100% of our people on there. I would be surprised. I mean, if I jump on there and I don't see you, I'm just gonna assume you have all the money in the world, and I don't. So I'm going to be on there, Valencia. And I don't even sell real estate, but I know I'm going to be able to take the stuff that you say, and then I'm going to be able to apply it in a different area of my life, whether that's talent, whether that's with my kids, whatever, right? And you guys know how fast she moves. So I show up to that call ready to take on the world. I would have my phone out to take notes, or my laptop. However, if you're the all in person and you're like, man, I want to go full all in with Converted, she starts Converted Monday, is it? Monday? Oh yeah. You can get your daily dose of Valencia practically. The regular price for that is $597. The agent price we have for our place agents is $298.50. I haven't done the math, but that's probably less than $20 a week. That is cheaper than gas right now for you to make a ton of money, you guys. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I would say there's a few people that I'm thinking about on our team who have the $298.50, and they should be investing that $298.50 for the full course. I'm also thinking that there's a ton of people, like 99% of our people, who need to be in the condensed version and get through that and then build to the next level. So I'm excited. Anything, Valencia, that you got that I completely missed along the way?
You absolutely nailed it.
All right, you guys, this is how you end Q2 strong, and you begin Q3 and 4 on a winning streak. It's very important to have winning streaks. Like, Converted will help you get that momentum built up. So I'm excited.
I believe they will break it into payments too, like 3 monthly payments. So it would be
boom. I mean, how much easier does this get, right? Y'all, if you don't know, like, if you've ever done Bold is like, I don't know, how much is Bold? Like $8.99, $9.99. I don't even know how much Bold is. Bold is great, and Valencia's better. And it's up to date today stuff, not like stuff from 3 years ago. So anyway, I'm gonna get off that pedestal and go on to the next one. I wanted to give you a couple updates on value adds that are coming in May. The seller experience in Spanish for everyone who serves our Spanish community. You are valuable and important, and they are valuable and important, and it's taken us way too long to get here, but we are almost done. Also, a luxury experience. So not just the seller experience, we're gonna have the luxury experience version of it for those clients who maybe in your market are 750 plus, maybe it's $1 million plus, whatever luxury looks like in your market, you're gonna have a separate seller experience that will be called the luxury experience. So that is coming May, so that you can look for it, and when it comes out, you can start using it. It's exciting. Next thing is Cinco de Mayo, which for all of you might mean something else. For me, it means Chris Suarez is going to be on our Texas Power Up, and it is going to be 11 o'clock, so we're probably not going to be drinking yet. But he's probably going to share so much good stuff that you might want to celebrate after. I don't know. But we've got Chris on at 11 o'clock on Cinco de Mayo. the number one request that I have gotten from you guys all year long has been hearing the leadership journeys of the leaders that we have today, how they grew up, where they came from, how they got to where they are today, really knowing and getting to know the person behind the leadership role that they're in. What you guys have been saying is that when you hear how people started and their messy middle, it inspires you to think bigger, to think different, to take action towards your preferred future. So we'll be hearing from some of our folks over the next, 3 months. So thank you for all of you. You guys send a lot of requests, and I try to get all of them. This is not one I've done a good job with, and I am committed that I will do a good job with it. Red Day comes up in May. For us in Austin, it's May 12th. It's an opportunity to give back if you're part of Keller Williams. In Austin, we are welcoming the homeless home. And so we will not have power up that day. So you will get one that canceled. And when you get that cancellation, it's not canceled for the entire year. You can't get off that easy. It's just that day. So that is happening. I want to draw your attention that we are going to kick off Memorial Day weekend with Kimberly. On May 26th, she is a master of events. Ben always talks about her really winning at events. And so she is going to do an events-based power up for us on May 26th. I also have, if you want to write it down, John Powers. He's really good at community events. He's another power player. He's going to do something for us. And then a few other people around that. What I want to do is I want to hear from them all the highlights, but I also want their playbook, their auto plans, all of that stuff. So they can't come on here without sharing that with us first, so that we can share it with you, so you can take action. So you're not just inspired, but you're able to make money with that inspiration, right? So if that's your calling, if events are your thing, or they might be your thing, I want you to have a model to follow that is low cost or no cost, that you can build consistency with. Mega Camp dates are out August 23rd and 24th. They are $5.99, so start saving up those pennies, because it ain't cheap. I feel like they used to be like $1.99 or something. I don't know. But either way, y'all, $5.99, if that's your calling to go out and network and all of that sort of thing, it's $5.99. Get ready. Built How Fall Conference is September. We do not have dates yet, but Ben said we would have dates in the next 10 days. So if you haven't been around like Place for a while, or Jordan Davis's team, or Ben Kinney teams, or any of our teams, we used to get like 1 week notices. So for us to have several month notices, this is amazing and fun. So September, I would just maybe keep it clear for the next 10 days, and then Jordan and I and Laura and Sarissa and all of our leaders will get you the dates. And I think there will probably be like 1,000 agents there, of our agents. It's going to be the place to be this year. Ben said this: money doesn't make you happy, but it can make you unhappy. Money doesn't make you happy, but it can make you unhappy. And the reason I say that is we have 40 days left in Q2. And you know what that does? As soon as we wrap up April and we wrap up May, you know what that also wraps up? Mid-year. Because everything you penned in June will close when?
Q3, July.
July. So really the next 40 days of our focus, of our work, of our priorities determine how we end mid-year, right? And so that's kind of like funky, like, really, how are we like already there? We are. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to some of our top people. I know Jordan and Casey, you guys have just a couple strategies you can share with us on, if this was you, or if you were coaching someone, how would you coach them to calibrate their focus in the next 40 days to really set up like a winning, just a winning quarter, but really to be in a position to feel like you're winning by the end of mid-year. And I say that because John Wooden says, we were winners last season, but each season starts new. But it's easier to start a new season. It's easier to start Q3 if you felt like you were winning Q2, right? So let's see. Casey, you want to jump in first, or Jordan? Whoever wants to jump in, tell us what you would do.
Sure. Yeah. So I think that, I mean, you mentioned working from priority. I think that's really what it is, right? Like we need to know what our priorities are. And that really comes down to having clarity, right? Ben talks about, plan your day before. And I think that we should, plan the next 40 days, right? Have a plan for that. And also, as you're setting your priorities, remember, there's only 4 things that make us money in real estate, right? There's lead generation, lead follow-up, appointments, and negotiation, right? And if you're not doing those things, that's Debbie DeGroat right there. I just totally ripped that off, right? But it's if you're not doing one of those 4 things, it's probably not a priority, right? Like sit down, inspect what you're doing, and we need to get really good at these things, right? Like lead generation, that we know the scripts, right? But you got to put the time on task. Lead follow-up, we got to call those watches, call those calls, right? Like dig in there and do some of the things that, it's easy to let them slip through the cracks. When we're going on appointments, I think that, we need to focus on some things, even like the buyer consult. Some of us feel like we've graduated from that. I mean, this is the kind of market where we got to be setting expectations in your listing presentation, right? Like be practicing that. I love seeing like Kaylin and Joseph in our office. They're sitting down and practicing that listing presentation. Looks like every day, just about, right? I mean, just really focus on that and skilling up. And then when it comes to negotiations, right? Like you're writing offers and getting through option, like that's how we make money in real estate. It's like by having the clients and doing the work, going on the appointments, converting at the appointments, and then writing those offers. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our like active business, our active clients, or like our HOTs. We start treating HOTs like they're actives. We treat actives like they're pending, right? Like at the end of the day, we got to go out there and make money. And there's 4 ways to do it in real estate. And so I think that we should have that in front of us and know, like, work from those priorities.
That is awesome. And rip off and duplicate a million times, right? What were the 4? Lead generation? Go ahead. Just for anybody who missed it.
Yeah. So
how do we
lead
get paid
generation,
in real estate?
lead generation, lead follow-up, appointments, and negotiation.
When you find yourself in the next 40 days doing something outside of that, I certainly hope that it's with your family or for your health or for yourself, right? Because otherwise, I don't know, probably shouldn't be doing it. You might be doing it because you're trying to distract yourself from what the 4 things are. I love that. Thank you so much. Jordan, do you want to wrap us up with what you would be doing?
Yeah, I would be getting ultra focused on who you can get under contract. And I know, for example, our team has had 70 buyer reps or pre-qualifications and only 30 pending on buyers. So there's 40 buyers out there floating around that have told us that they want to look for a home. And I realize that this market is really tough and we're all very listing focused. But what I would encourage you to do is, 1, remember that you're a fiduciary to them. And so you owe it to them to find them a house as if you're finding your own home. Are you acting on behalf of your buyers as if it's you looking to buy a home that you're needing to buy? 2 things are happening right now. Rates are increasing. So first of all, you know that they're going to pay more for a home in 30, 60, 90 days than they would pay right now. Are you being their fiduciary and looking for the home? Secondly, we know that prices are going to go up over summer. So getting them into a home right now is literally going to secure that they're going to pay probably 10% less for a home than they would if they wait until August. A couple things. Are you having those tough conversations, or are you showing up to the office and saying, oh, my buyers, they think they know everything. They are never going to qualify. They have no idea what's going on in this market. Are you having that conversation with them, or are you showing up to the office and just bitching about them? Because if you're not having that conversation, you don't love them, you don't care about them, and you're not treating them like a fiduciary. So you need to have those conversations. And here's a couple of ways to do it. If you want to, we're reading the book, Crucial Conversations, and you want to tell them they're wrong or keep the relationship. And so oftentimes we're choosing to keep the relationship, keep the buyer. We're afraid of losing them. Can we have both? Can I tell them that they're wrong, that they're off base, and can I maintain the relationship? And how can I do that in a respectful way? Force your brain to do the hard work of how do I correct them on what their perception is of the market. Katie brought up getting feedback on an offer and having an honest conversation with them, right? And maintaining the relationship. Great ways to do that are the line, can I tell you what concerns me about that? So when your buyer wants to put in an offer at asking price, you say, can I tell you what concerns me about that? And here's the thing, if you've shared your concerns with them and they are still set in their ways that they're not going to change that, then they're not the motivated person that you're looking to be a fiduciary for. So a couple ways that we can decide who are those buyers that we are going to get under contract in the next 40 days. Like awesome, scout for listings, all of that. That's all great. And buyers come to us naturally and you have them in your book of business. I know you do. You've set them up on an MLS search and you've forgotten about them. The worst thing I can hear is when I say, hey, how's that going with that buyer? I don't know. I set them up on MLS. I haven't heard from them. That's horrible. They told you they wanted to buy a house and we're not doing our job for them. Clarity on what they're looking for. What area do they want to be in? What size? What price? How much cash do they have? What are they willing to go above? And then get into motivation. Converted is going to talk to you about going really deep into motivation and bringing that back up on every conversation. Hey, Sarah, I know that you said that you wanted your kids to be in this school district by August. Can I tell you what concerns me about waiting until July? In this market, we're seeing multiple offers and a lot of sellers are asking for 30, 60, and 90-day leasebacks. If we don't start now, I'm afraid, Sarah, that we won't get your kids enrolled in school by August. So coming back to motivation and being clear on that, we don't know their motivation. We go through the buyer consult, we water ski, we don't scuba dive, and we don't know what's going on with their motivations. We can bring it back to them and literally like get them by the throat on their motivation and what they want to do and why it's meaningful. If your person is not almost crying because moving is hard, you haven't dug into motivation enough. So you need clarity, you need vision. Brene Brown says, paint that done. What exactly does a bigger yard look like? What exactly does a smaller home look like? What are you in now? What's your ideal? What does updated mean to you? Because it's different to every person. What you think of updated, I may think is completely different. What does a new home mean? Are you really talking about you want to build from the ground up or you just want something built in the last 10 years? Getting clarity around that, then tying in their motivation so you can keep bringing them back to it when the market gets hard. Create buyer profiles of exactly what they're looking for. So start prospecting for listings that may not even be on the market yet. Start talking to your database about, I have Casey who is looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Mansfield ISD. He has to be in a home. He's pre-approved. He's willing to pay X amount above and waive appraisal. Prep them for what they need to be going into, and then start talking to your database about what you're looking for. Not only do you set them up on MLS, but you also need to be looking at off market, not once, not the first time you talk to them, weekly. What are your key buyers looking for? And are you looking at for sell by owners every single week? Because guess what? They're popping up. And what a great touch. Maybe it's not a good fit for a buyer, but one, you just gave your buyer some hope because you told them, hey, I'm looking at off markets for you. I'm doing this job for you. We're getting fired by our buyers because we're not doing that much work for them. Looking at off markets weekly, it also helps you prospect. Looking at for rent by owner. Hey, at what price would that cause you to sell? For sell by owners and for rent by owners. What would cause you to sell that? Or look at homes for rent. You could be looking that way, right? Circle prospecting, Brandon just posted in, reverse prospecting. Your CRM search. We often forget that that exists. You may have to go to an admin with Brevity and say, hey, I got a person looking in Mansfield. Can you pull everybody that's asked for a home valuation in Mansfield? I want to call through them and see, even if it's somebody else's lead, maybe I can contact Daniel and say, Daniel, would you call the Smiths? I'm looking at their house and it looks like something that would fit my client. They wanted a market evaluation. Maybe they're interested in selling. I've got their buyer right here. We don't ever have to go on the market. The other thing that our team does is we put all of our upcoming listings in a Google Doc and we go over it every week. So we try to work out a deal between our team before we ever go on the market. Now, there's going to be a list price and there's going to be a won't go on the market price. So are you talking to your other agents, leaders? Are you presenting that to your people? Are you consulting every buyer that you take? Are you getting super clear on what they're looking for, what their motivation is, and then taking it to your off-market listings and seeing if you can pair them up and find something that would work for them? Are we really acting as a fiduciary? Are we protecting them from the interest rates that are about to come up? And are we protecting them from the market values that are about to skyrocket through the summer as we continue to see offers $50,000 to $100,000 above? make sure you're having those hard conversations and you're targeting exactly who you can get under contract to reach your goal in the next 40 days.
I love that. Man, if you guys are not inspired by the end of these two power players sharing, real estate might not be for you if you're not inspired, because I'm not getting off this call to sell a house, but I'm about to. I feel like it, like after hearing these guys. So I love that. I love that. The last thing I'm going to jump into is I looked through all of the chat. You guys have been very active this morning. Thank you. You are all in on your success, and it makes us all so happy. Converted condensed, you're going to receive a link for that, and it will come from Place. Every Friday, they send out an email that says all in one place, I think, and it will be in that email. So I wouldn't skip that email. And then full converted, the 16-week course, if you're super serious, if you're investing in your future, is in the link that was shared in the chat, $298.50, which is, I mean, gosh, I don't even know if you can buy a handbag for that anymore. I don't even know. But I'll tell you, you'll make enough money to buy all the handbags you want, and hopefully some real estate too. That'd be great. That's what you really need to be doing. But anyway, not telling you what to do with your life. You do you. Meanwhile, we will see you on Converted Condensed or Converted The Real Thing. It's not a sales pitch. I don't care if you don't do it. At the end of the day, this is you against you. This is your goals. Like, there's no ranking system here. Like, if Elizabeth wins, like, Elizabeth is the one that knows that she won, right? At the end of the day, that's what matters, is if she feels like she won, right? And so the cool thing is, it is always about your goals. We're providing you the tools, the systems, the training, the coaching to be able to build a business as big as you want it to be. So I'll leave you guys with that. I will see you guys soon. Have a good one. See you next Thursday. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you so much, Adelina.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.